tell the story of the mountains you climbed, your words could become a page in someone else's survival kit. Hey guys. It's your girl Desiree Wilson, the tallest girl in the building. There's on their second born now. So today we have Ncumisa Hlapho. She's all about data, and you know guys, one thing about me, I'm all about data too. So yeah, she's in the tech industry. She's part of the women in tech, part of the women in data, especially in SA. You know how this industry is just so male dominated, and I was just like, yo, when she agreed for this interview, I was so happy. Like, you don't understand, like, I was so happy because I was like, this industry is just full of males, and yeah, and people are expecting you to be in tech and look like you are in tech, and when you chose this place, I was like, it's big, it's nice, it's because most of the things, like one thing I've noticed about SA is that most, the way tech is based, it's just this weird thing. You can't be a cool person in tech. You just need to be always baggy, and I was so happy when I saw everything about you, and I was like, oh, I like this. So basically this channel is mostly about careers and how went through into the corporate, how you started and everything, right? So I would like you to tell your own story, because I've seen that maybe when you are in uni and you're just studying and you just want to see someone who's doing something that you are channeling yourself into, and you're just studying and you're just like, is this worth it? Can I do this? Should I still carry on? Do I want to be in corporate? Because these days corporate is like, people are always on some entrepreneurship, and yeah, I just want to share the information through someone else, that maybe if you tell your story, someone who's sitting there at home chilling, they'll understand whatever that they are studying, right? So I'd like you to tell me about, like, let me just say from high school, how was it, and then till like your university.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's a long time ago. So I think my journey has pretty much always been around tech. I started my high school like grade 8 and 9, started 6 and 7. Then in Cape Town, in Khayelitsha.
Oh, you're from Cape Town?
From Cape Town.
Oh, okay.
Cape Town in Khayelitsha in a public school. And how I stumbled upon a science or tech studying path was in grade 8 and 9. I was like immensely bullied in that high school. Guys, public school sometimes can be very hard. But then in that quest, I was looking for a school that I can go to and escape the one that I was in, because I just felt like I was not a fit for it. Then I started looking, and I came across a newspaper. You know the local newspapers that they give out? And it had an article about a new school that had been set up in Dugai in Cape Town, which is towards the Constantia side. And it was a math and science school. So excelling grade 9 learners would get an opportunity to go there. But you would stay at the boarding school, right? So I told my mother about it, and my mother was like, because I needed something where I was going to get a scholarship, because I couldn't, my mom was a single mom, so I couldn't now, put pressure on her to take me to a private school or somewhere where I'm going to need to travel and get to the expenses, because that option for us at home was the best. So I had to find a creative way out of it. So when I stumbled upon that article, I ended up, my mom wasn't comfortable with taking me to a boarding school of a new school that was being established, but she realized, she found out that there was another school that was doing exactly the same thing. But it was in Khayelitsha, and I could travel there. And this was the Center of Science and Technology. And I mean, they've since grown. Back then, we were like only 150 learners. They would take the top of the grades in the local schools and invest a lot of money. And so it was Center of Science and Technology. So my journey with computers, I've been there since. And then from there, I took a gap year after high school, because obviously in that school, like the demand on you as a learner was a lot because there's, I mean, they take the top, the best of the best, so you have to fight to sort of like maintain that standard. So at the end of matric, I felt like I needed to take a step back and discover myself.
Yes, and touching on that, most of the time I think as the Black community, right? We just rush to go into university. You end up rushing going to university because all of your friends are studying, all of your friends are going to U, they've been accepted to UCT, and then now the pressure is getting worse and worse, and then now you just like, let me just go for whatever course, and you end up doing something that you just don't like, and then you're just there, and sometimes you don't have that passion, because sometimes when you do something that you don't like, you don't have that, you are not passionate about it, you're just doing it because everyone is going to uni, and so it's a good thing. It's also a good thing that when you are done with your with high school, just take a step back and just think of what you want to do. And then, because I'm pretty sure when you went to uni, you knew what's happening there.
Not necessarily, because I had applied at UCT and was accepted for become accounting. Because in my school we did math, science, accounting, and computers.
Yes.
So I had options to choose from. So at UCT I was accepted for become accounting, and then at CPUT I was accepted for civil engineering. So it shows how confused I was. Right? So at the end of that gap year, I still hadn't figured out, but I wasn't like at home. I was volunteering in an HIV and AIDS hospice and community center in Gugulethu. So I was spending my time there, and I was getting a stipend for me to travel. But my mom was like, "Girl, you owe me a qualification. So you need to go and study because I won't rest if you don't have something. If I don't leave you with something." So I spoke to my sister who was at university at the time. She said, "Listen, you seem to be, in tune with your tech stuff. Just do IT." I see a lot of people that are doing IT seem to be enjoying it. So it was literally like more IT. But I started IT and I never looked back. I never looked back. I went into CPUT and I did a national diploma in information technology at the time.
And also, just to clarify also on that, is that don't want to go into, you were accepted for a degree and you went for a diploma, right?
Exactly.
Yes, so because most of the time people force themselves, they take on that gap year, they force themselves to just be like, okay, let me just try to upgrade my marks, but you could be going for a thing that will also be suitable for you and still make it at the end of the day.
And for me, when I weighed the options, right, because when I looked at, obviously, the school that I was in is adopted by UCT. So I was very biased towards I need to go to UCT.
And everyone wants to be in UCT.
Right? So when it's a no-brainer that I ended up back at UCT anyway because I'm doing my postgrad with them in management. I'm doing my executive studies there. But when I weighed the options, I wanted something that's going to be practical quickly. So when I did the research, what I found out was that if I do a BSc in information systems versus the IT one, in this qualification I studied for 2.5 years, and in the last 6 months I need to apply it in a company.
A practical way.
So I was like, that for me is more attractive because it brings me sooner. I mean, it brings the goal of actually applying what I'm learning a bit closer. So that's how I went in the minimum IT is. And I suppose because my bigger sister was already at CPT, it was comfortable.
It was easy, because she has traveled this road, and it was,
so that's what I studied. And I majored in information systems and business analysis. Because I wanted to be a business analyst. But when I started working, they placed me in a data team in business intelligence because when they found out I was stronger in those modules. So, and I seemed to be more passionate about it back then already. So they placed me in BI, and that was the beginning of the journey.
Wow, that's nice, because most of the time people just stumble across tech. But with you knew from the beginning, because a lot of people they just change their careers and and they're just so interested in tech. They did engineering and everything and all. But at least with you just knew that I just want to be here. So who was inspiring you? Because normally you need to have someone who's like, you know, that person, they're in tech. Yeah, I want to just, you know, at that time.
So for me, I've been inspired by like various people, not necessarily in tech. I think what has always inspired me was women who were excelling. Whether you're excelling in law, whether you're excelling in medicine, whether you're excelling in tech, that for me has always been something that as a little girl growing up in a township, I want to start working in corporate South Africa, and I need to be powerful, I need to make it a difference, I need to have a voice,
yes.
right?
And so, isn't that what you are doing right now? I mean, look at you right now, right? So yeah, so when you started working, right, let's just move away from the uni and everything. Oh, okay, for the uni, right, I need to ask you, how was it? Because you know how when you're in tech, you have to code. Did you have challenges in coding?
I hated coding. So in our first year, we did a blend of everything. In our second year, you could choose your major.
Yeah.
Oh my word! So that's why I chose business analysis, because I felt that for me, I get to engage with the business and the people that are actually doing. If you're selling apples, the person that actually sells the apple, and then build a solution for them, translate their language into the technical guys, and be that bridge.
Yeah.
That for me was more attractive than actually sitting and coding. But I didn't necessarily struggle in my coding. I think, I didn't necessarily struggle in it. I focused because I was like, I need to get this out of the way.
Yeah.
Get the coding done so that I can focus on what I learned.
on the, yeah.
But it wasn't my favorite. But it found me later on. You can't run away.
You can't run away from coding, and I think that's one of the challenges, because especially after high school, right? In high school, you are never exposed to coding, and then you get to uni, and then you just like you have to write your first code, and when you write your first code, it's like it's French, and you are speaking English. So it's bound to happen that you just like, I hate coding, because at that time when you start coding, you're just like, what is this? I don't understand this language, because coding is another language. It has different languages and it's so hard for you. But after you get the hang of it, you're like, okay, now
So for me, that's one of the reasons. When I was in high school, remember my school was a school of excellence. So we were introduced to Java.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
We did the Microsoft Suite when other people in our first year were still going through the Excels and the words. We got a pass because you could write a test. They could see that, oh, you're fine with the foundation and pass you on. But the point that I want to make with this one is that for me, that's why I even founded Data Consortium. And it has its roots on demystifying data careers as a whole, but at the same time, it's going back into the grassroots level, at school level, and introducing data and analytics and saying, what is data, what is data science, what is Python, what is SQL, to high school level, so that when they get to university, they don't experience what we experience, because data is not going anywhere, and data careers are not going anywhere. In fact, data will be more in their job world than it is in ours.
Yeah, that's really, when I saw that you also have a mentorship program on this, demystifying these data, because I was like, most of the time we all start like knowing about careers when we get to uni, and then we are told that corporates is like this, companies are gonna fight for us, and then you are done with uni, and the company is not fighting for you. No one is looking for you. You have to look for the company instead, you know. So like one of the main reasons for this channel was that to just be realistic and be like, when you're studying, just study, know what you want to do and work towards it, but don't expect a company to fight for you. You will have to go and apply, you know, and do all of these things and go through the recruitment processes, because you know when you go through a recruitment process, sometimes you're thinking that I'll get a job. You know those people that get jobs the same day, and then you go through a recruitment and it takes almost a month or 2 months, and you just like, what's happening? You are confused, and you get into a corporate world. So when in your early careers, right, when you got into the corporate world, like what were the challenges that you had in your early career?
So I think one of the biggest challenges, which is one of the reasons you touched on the mentorship program that I currently have running with Data Consortium, right?
Okay.
That is focused on mentoring women in data.
Okay.
And getting executives and chief data and analytics officers to hold the hands of the people that are starting out, that are intermediate, and demystify the path for them and support them along the journey. It's running for like a month, but the goal is that beyond that, they must have someone to hold on to that will support them along the journey, because it's not easy, it's not always clear. There isn't a lot of certainty because the careers are not always clearly defined and the path is not always clearly defined. So you need someone that's going to say, okay, you are strong in data engineering. These are the growth prospects for you. And you need to do A, B, C, D in order to get there. So coming back to my challenges, that was one out of my challenges, right? Because when I started in business intelligence, I started, like I said, in my internship, in my in-service training. So then the question was, I majored in business analysis, I'm in business intelligence. Where to next? I still want to be a business analyst, but I seem to love this.
And I'm
loving it. And it was a lot of uncertainty, and I spent a lot of time looking through the mails, trying to make it make sense. And then still within business intelligence, when I started, my role was in support and it was customer facing. And when I wanted to start developing and coding, I found that there was a lot of unconscious bias where, you know, I'll say girls are not as trusted as boys to do the back end stuff.
That's also, yes.
You know, and this is something I said to some learners at UJ when I was at UJ last week, to say to the girls in the class that raise your hand, take the difficult task, go against the grain, because you are not going to be immediately trusted to do it. The instinct is going to be to say to the male counterparts that there's this thing that's technical, that's difficult, that we need help with. You do it, but it's our role then and our responsibility to raise our hands and say we are here, we are in the room. So it was a challenge, but it was a blessing for me. So in the beginning, I found that I was sort of like being boxed, and I had boxed myself as well into I'll just do the stakeholder, you know, engagement that requires the soft, you know, what do they call them, soft skills and all these things. And I mean, I'm great at stakeholder engagement. You know, I'm great at that because of that experience. But I wanted to have an end-to-end understanding of my field within business intelligence and data warehousing at the time. What happens at the back? I don't only want to see the front.
I want to know.
And the middle, I want to go to the depth of it. And breaking through to get that wasn't always so easy. But nonetheless, I found I was very vocal and expressed my desires, and I nagged people, and I found one amazing lady, Genevieve Manel, who sat down with me one day and said, Ncumisa, we're gonna put down something that's gonna map out who Ncumisa is, so that you can find a place where you're gonna be comfortable and express yourself creatively and enjoy it.
And touching on that, when you enjoy yourself and you are at your creative space, ideas just pop like this. You are able to just...
You become a better resource.
Exactly.
And when you become a better resource, you get the recognition. When you get the recognition, you get, you know, more encouraged to do more. So it's very important also for companies to invest in helping people demystify their path in tech, right? Understand, for you, Desiree, what does this look like here now? Where do you see yourself? Okay, in order to get there, and don't put like blocks on people, but as goals, we have to, in tech, unfortunately, we have to take up space and say, I am here. I'm going to solve this problem and then commit to solving that problem. You know, just bring the bacon and fry it and put it in a plate.
Guys, I don't want to lie. I'm having a mentorship program right now because now I'm also still in my early careers in tech. Like I'm still trying to figure out the corporate. There's so many things that I thought that corporate was you need to dress up, wearing those suits, and you just walking in. And you know, I had a different idea of corporate. And then when I got it, I'm like, okay, am I supposed to do this? Oh, okay, this. And then you are, and also with coding, like you just need to also always try to make sure that you know the best things that are happening right now, especially when you're in tech. You stay on Google, like you literally stay on Google, and that's great. So one of the questions I needed to ask you is, how do you handle like the workplace disappointments? Because at the end of the day, when you are in corporate, it's not easy. Like someone once said that corporate is like in high school. It's high school again.
On steroids.
Because uni was not like this. It was chill. And then you get to corporate, there are people back chatting, those things. Like, so how do you handle that? Yeah.
So, I'm gonna recommend a book, right? And especially for the women in tech. It's called Intelligence is Not Enough. Intelligence is Not Enough. And another book that I'm gonna recommend is Nice Girls Don't Get in the Corner Office. Right? And these two books, what they did for me is that, first of all, you learn that it's not about going to work and doing your job and going back home. There's a lot of navigation that happens in corporate. So you need to have the EQ for it, so that when the disappointments happen, they don't push you off course. Because they don't catch you off guard, you're expecting it, you know that these things are gonna happen. And it's not unique to you. When disappointments happen to you and people backchat and people do all of those things, so it's not about misery. It's about the environment. It's about the environment. The same thing is happening to Ncumisa. The same thing is happening to the males. The same thing is happening to all of us, because the thing is, we are all personalities that are all moving towards that one seat. CEO, CIO, CDAO. There's bound to be personality things that will come up. But in order for those things not to creep up on you and surprise you, you have to preempt it. You have to be aware. What I learned in Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office is that the perception that you put out there of yourself sometimes determines how those things will play themselves out in you. So you have to build such a strong brand and reliable brand about yourself, and I'm gonna emphasize on strong. You know, like put a brand of, I'm here to do this and I excel at it, and I'm not willing to be compromised in doing what I'm here to do. So when you're conscious of that, right? When certain things happen, you're like, I know what this is, and it's going to take me off course. And how do I navigate my way out of it? You already have the tools before these things happen. So I think to sum it up, how you get over the disappointments is that some days will be hard. Some days will be hard. There are days that I've experienced corporate bullying. I've experienced like corporate bullying in a way that I never imagined. But it was not about me. It was about that person and their issues and the environment. It was not about me. What did I do? I made sure that I delivered at the height of that. And for me, the solution after I had tried everything internally to resolve it was to remove myself from the environment and put myself in an environment where I'm gonna thrive. So just because you are in company X and it seems like everything is going right, it doesn't mean you have to put up with the disappointment or whatever that's happening in that environment. If it's gonna break you, sometimes the best thing to do is to leave them with your best and go to a place that will thrive, that will make you thrive, and where you will be able to plug all of your creativity and all of your heart into it. So disappointment will happen, but educate yourself, be prepared for it. Don't let it catch you off guard, because it is gonna happen.
Yeah, wow. What? It's so insightful. Like guys, even now I'm just taking notes, because most of the time when you are starting, you are also confused, because like you're just confused, like, okay, I love this, because when you keep on working, you're like, okay, I really love this, and I also don't want to be that person that boxes myself, but also you just like, you don't want to be too much for people. Like you are there in the meeting and you are the one that, you know, you just need to also, I don't know, maybe with me, I'm just like, I'm like, let me
Never
just
dim yourself down for people. So you see me, I brought us into a pink coffee shop. I'm wearing pink, right? And I work in tech. And for the longest time, I felt like I was too pink for a tech career, a technical tech career. And it was until, for lack of a better word, I said, screw it. I am a pink and colorful person. And I'm damn good at my job. Give me that code and I will make it dance. With my pinkness.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So sometimes we can't let, in fact, all the time, we can't let other people box us into, but I understand that when you're starting off, you're trying to, it's like a child learning to walk.
Yeah.
You don't know what is too much of what, but I think the principle remains, as long as you are within this thing that you are here and entrusted to do. I'm entrusted to be a BI manager and lead a BI team where I am to deliver. As long as I'm leading those people to be better at what they do and for my team to deliver stellar results, I don't think it should matter to anyone whether I do it in a flamboyant pink way or whether I do it in black and white, because I am pink.
Yeah.
So that's just like to say, sometimes you're not too much in a meeting, your presence must be felt in its authenticity.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I think maybe for me, I'm still like also just trying, and you can't just be like, you know, especially in the corporate, like you can't be, they'll be like, hey, this girl, she's too much now, yo. Yeah, but I like that, I really like that, and it's such things that we, like, it's such things that where I'm like, I don't want someone who wants to know more about the corporate, the tech, and everything in the SA context, to be struggling the same way I did, the same way you did. So that's why I was like, okay, let me just start a YouTube channel. Obviously, not a lot of people have this, so now it's easier for someone to just search and be like, what can I do with this certification and everything. I feel like we talked. Yeah, I don't want it to be very long, right? And also, when you are in your career, right, you did certifications and everything. I saw that you have Diploma, you have DCMP. Please tell us more about that. And then, like, just shortly, like, tell us about the Diploma and the DCMP, and then also just shortly explain what BI is to someone who has no clue on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in layman's terms, business intelligence is using data, right? You're collecting data and you're processing data in order to give the company intelligence about what's happening. Because right now we're sitting at a coffee shop, we've got water, someone else is going to come and do something else, someone else is going to come and do something else. So BI collects everything and says, this is what is happening. And if you continue in this fashion, this is what's going to happen in the future, right? So you give intelligence to the company and using data. And then in terms of my certifications, okay. So I've had, I think let me speak to the BI related ones, right?
Yeah.
So obviously I did my diploma and then I did my BTech. Those don't count necessarily as certifications. I'm doing my postgrad. And then I did the DAMA Certified Data Professional, right?
How does it
Certified Data Management Professional. And I specialized because you have to do the foundational course, the foundations one, that teaches you everything about the data life cycle and what you need to consider in data. What I focused on, and special, but you can choose one after you do your foundations. You can do a specialty. I did business intelligence and data warehousing. What that does is it certifies that I know my stuff when it comes to business intelligence and data warehousing.
Yes.
Essentially, right?
Yeah.
Because then the reason for me it was important is so that I have when I come with my experience, because I've got over 11 years of experience, I solidify it with something that says I've got a certifications, like people that are in accounting. You can have accounting, but there's those certifications that CPF, what, that they need to do with order. So that's what they're trying to do within the data body. They're trying to get to formalize it. Just like analyst, and then you get certified business analyst, and so on and so forth. You get architect, and then you get certified architect. So it's something to say that you have passed the board exam of data.
Yes. And also, I just want to also put it out there that it's very important, especially in the tech. You should just know that studying doesn't end in uni. You constantly need to try get those certifications, and also you need to be sure of what you want to do, and then after just get those certifications. They do help, because now when you study on that, you get to have a very huge, you get to have to understand what that thing is. It opens doors for you. So just on a lighter note, I just want to I like having light things. We are pink. Let's relax. Let's talk about tech. Let's if you had to if there was a song that every time you get inside a place you want it to be played, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
That one song that you like, what?
I'm not even. I think it would be Gyra by I think it's Elevation Worship and Shanda Moore. Gyra.
What does it? I don't know.
It says, God, you are enough for everything. Like in my career, in everything. In my family, in my marriage, in my
you are enough. You have done
my contribution, in my sickness, in my wealth, in my health. All I need.
Just had goosebumps. And then also what other thing, what other career would you go for besides this one? If you had to go for medicine. And also you are working at Medski, right?
Yes,
yes, it has to do with health. So you are basically doing data in the healthcare sector, and you understand more and more about the healthcare sector. So I understand why, because I also do a lot of medicine, medical things. I know ICD codes. I know all. You end up because I was like, okay, I think I'm now a medical doctor. You end up just being, yeah. And then, what's your best travel destination? This one.
Hollywood. I'm a city girl.
Oh, okay.
I know other people like exotic islands. And I'm a.
You're just a city girl.
I'm a city girl.
Yeah. And then, how would you like to spend your free time?
My free time.
Yeah.
Okay, so ideally, I'd like to spend my free time with a good book and coffee. But the reality is that I've got 2 kids under 7. So
you constantly have to be there, spend more time with them.
So and I'm spending my time just bonding with them and being present.
Yeah. And then what motivates you? What gives you that thing that you like? You know what? I want to go out there and smash this.
Impact. I feel, for me, if we all came from a place of wanting to make an impact, a lot of things that, a lot of bad things that happen in society would be erased by the fact that we all have some kind of impact that we're living for. So in my career, I don't look at data as just data. I'm in healthcare right now. I live by the purpose of Afrocentric, which is to make healthcare affordable to all South Africans and accessible to all South Africans, right? To make sure that people have access to quality private healthcare. That's the purpose of that. So that impact, every time I write a script, every time I have a meeting with my team, every time I put a data strategy together, it's to how is it going to go towards that impact. Data consortium, it's to impact. I founded it to impact people that are starting out in data to make their path much more easier.
And when I saw the data consortium and everything, I was like, wow, this is really like it's inclined with everything that you need to. The fact that you are mentoring and you are saying whatever that I have, because most of the time when we get people that went into corporate India on, they just hog information.
Yeah.
It's me, myself, and I've got into, I'm now a CIO and what sort of, but like it's not, but so one of the things that I was just like, it's really a nice thing, it's beautiful, and I think it will also impact and it will lead towards what motivates you just to be impactful, because you are one of the ladies that I'm like, okay, I look up to the lady. Because like, I was just like, yeah, I really liked everything. And then just to close off, because I don't want it to be very, very long, which app do you use the most, like normally?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay.
My screen time on LinkedIn is up there.
How do you mind sharing
Yeah?
your screen time?
Sure. I don't know, but I know it's the highest. I don't know the exact. It's LinkedIn.
Yeah. And the fact that you are using LinkedIn the most is also one of the greatest apps, especially if you want to collaborate and see people that are doing the same career choices that you made, and you can just highlight them. Like you guys, let me tell you, right? Just a short story. I've been DMing her, I don't know how many times. Like every time, like hi, hello, how are you? And I was like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm going to have I want to share this, you know, and I think LinkedIn is also one of the best platforms because it also allows me. I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for LinkedIn. I wouldn't have been like, let me try to make a channel and talk about this, you know, if it wasn't for LinkedIn. And I think one of the things, like people were saying that LinkedIn is mostly people, like it's giving you pressure, because obviously when you are on LinkedIn, I won't lie, you just get in there and you're seeing all of these CIOs, people are attending these things, and then you feel like you're not doing anything, you are not enough in whatever that you're doing, that you're doing. But all I could say is that just trust the process. Yeah, don't rush to be. Maybe there are people that are like from the get-go, they go to the top, but just don't rush everything. Just go up.
Overnight successes.
Yeah.
Over time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And on LinkedIn, I would advise you that just go there and force them. People that have been in the industry, greet them, highlight them, and be like, hey, I just want to know more about. So yeah, what would be your closing remarks on this whole? Yeah.
My closing remarks, I think I'll circle back to what I said, right? As women in tech, as women in data, as women in these male-dominated careers, show up, speak up, make your presence known, right? And not just by speaking up, but by doing work that is impactful, that makes a difference in your organization, right? Raise your hand for those tasks that are deemed as difficult. Say, I want to be here, even if I'm gonna hold the bottle for you.
Yeah,
But I want to be part of it, because I do see that most of the time as girls, we come in and we sit quietly, and that has a lot to how we are raised and boys are raised. Boys are raised that go and be wild.
Yeah.
And us, we are told, no, sit properly. No, don't climb, you're gonna fall. So at work, climb and go wild and let people know that I'm here and I'm going to make your world better by being here.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like I'm so happy, I'm so excited. I'm like, who, like, in as much as it's just we are sharing it out there, but also I'm also learning so many things that I'm like, sometimes don't just box yourself. Go out there, try out that hardest thing, and you know, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.